Okay, we're continuing with our Aztec software study material review. So, our interdisciplinary material review. We were at the section of grammar and the section of prepositions, actually. Prepositions are the words about, above. Okay, well, prepositions are a type of adverb. So we were learning about adverbs. So, they're the words about, above, across, after, against, along, among, at, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, by, during, except, for, from, in, inside, into, like, near, of, off. A prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and is followed by a noun. So, like on the table. Is that right? Okay, so next type of adverb. Okay, interjections. These express surprise or strong emotion, are usually set off from a sentence with a comma or an exclamation point. These are like oh, yes, no, well, hey, good, wow, phew, ugh, yuck, whoa, etc. So those are all interjections. So next part is the capitalization. You always capitalize names of people, places, things, also mountains, bodies of water, buildings, monuments, bridges, streets, continents, countries, states, towns, regions, books, plays, shows, articles, songs, works of art, schools, universities, and titles. All those are capitalized. Punctuation. Punctuation marks are used to make the meaning of words and sentences more clear. End marks are period, question mark, and exclamation points in these end sentences. Commas show separation between clauses and phrases in sentences and items, words in a list. Clauses are groups of words with a subject and a verb. There can be one or more clauses in a sentence. You use commas to separate two or more clauses in one sentence. When you join two independent clauses with a comma, you must also use a coordinating conjunction, such as for and nor, but, or, yet, or so. You must use a comma to set off extra supporting information that doesn't change the sentence's basic meaning. Okie dokie. So, okay. So, use a comma to also set off questions or information that can be added to a statement. Dashes and parentheses also serve a similar purpose as commas. Parenthetical elements, such as words or phrases, can be removed from a sentence and the sentence will still make sense. Parenthetical elements are often examples or definitions. So these are added with commas, dashes, or parentheses. Parenthetical elements are separated from the main idea by a comma, dash, and parenthesis, and they are another way of setting aside information that interrupts a sentence. You should never put a comma before an opening parenthesis. Sometimes you use a comma right after the final parenthesis, but not before. Dashes separate examples, definitions, explanations, or contrasts. you can use question marks or exclamation points inside dashes. That's all you can use, question marks or exclamation points. Apostrophes show possession. Apostrophes also show contractions, shortened versions of pronouns and verbs together. So those are apostrophes. Okay, so either possession or just shortened versions of pronouns and verbs together. Oh, also inside parentheses, you can never use a period. You're not supposed to. Only can use question mark and exclamation. End marks are punctuation marks at the end of sentences, periods, end statements, or mild commands, or an indirect question. Question marks and direct questions, exclamation points, and strong commands, and sentences that express strong emotion, obvious statements, or surprising thoughts. Contractions are two words shortened and joined together in a contraction. The apostrophe takes the place of one or more letters. Contractions can be a pronoun and a verb, or a verb and the word not. For example, they had becomes they'd. They apostrophe D. We will becomes we'll. We apostrophe LL. Had not becomes hadn't. Hadn't, and then apostrophe T, HAD, and contraction. And then will not becomes won't, and that's irregular. So those are contractions. Possessives. When you add an apostrophe and an S to a noun, it shows possession or who something belongs to. If the noun is singular or a proper noun and ends with an S, still use apostrophe S to make it possessive. If the noun is plural, however, and ends with an S, just add an apostrophe but no S. If it's already ends with an S and it's plural. So you add an apostrophe and an S only with singular nouns, either improper or proper, even if it ends with S. Next, different pieces of writing are a phrase, which is a group of words. A phrase does not express a complete idea and it cannot stand alone. A clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. An independent clause can stand alone because it's independent. A dependent clause cannot stand alone. A sentence is a group of words with a subject and a verb. A sentence always expresses a complete thought and can stand alone. Compound sentences are two or more clauses in one sentence. They can either be a combination of independent or dependent clauses. Use the rules for clauses to add your ideas together in a logical way. If you have two ideas, subjects or verbs that fit together, you can put them together into one sentence in a logical way. So errors are run-on sentences, which are sentences that are not punctuated correctly, or two sentences joined together without the right conjunction. There is no punctuation at all to separate the two independent clauses. Comma splices is another error, which are two sentences joined only with a comma. This is sort of like a run-on. In these sentences, there's a comma where a period or a semicolon or a conjunction should be. Fragments are incomplete sentences or dependent clauses or phrases. To correct run-ons, you use between independent clauses a period making two sentences, a semicolon, and a conjunctive verb. You add therefore, for example. um, and you can add conjunction.